Guys, so this one girl, she hated me because I smell better than her. And she just didn't like me because I made friends faster than she could. She just hated me because I'm me. I'm not bubbly or anything. I try to make jokes here and there. And usually people laugh at it. Some people think I'm silly. But I had this one friend, right? We always laugh together. He was like my not inspiration, but he was like the funny side of me. When I'm always with him, we always have a good laugh. We try to me and him always have like a competition. Who's the fastest? Who can do more exercise, right? Who's more flexible? So we was like that. We had a competition, but we was friends. I consider him as a best friend. Our true best friend. He could tell me mean stuff, but I won't take it in in my feelings or so. And I could tell him mean stuff to him. He just brush it off, right? So I remember this one time, right? We was doing this exercise, right? And we was trying to move ourselves in a certain way. Apparently he was like, I can do a split. I can do a split, right? And I was like, okay, you got this one. He's like, why I got this one? I was like, because I can't do a flip. I can't do a flip. I can't do a split. I can't do none of those things, right? The only thing I can do is maybe do pull-ups, push-ups, and flip on one of the little exercise thing. That's it. That's all you got me beat at. Doing a split. That's it. So it was no competition for that. But other exercise, we was very tagged. I mean on the same side. Usually if someone was bullying him, I stick up for him. Because he had something wrong with his teeth. It was not shaped the right way. So some other kid was bullying him, right, and saying how his teeth looks a certain way. And these other kids say he was his friend, right? If you're his friend, why wouldn't stick up for him? I'm the only one who stuck up for him. And he's considered me as a sister, like a big sister. But he was much older than me. I think he was 21 or something like that. He was 21 and I was maybe 19 or so. So it was like that, right? And so this kid was making fun of him, right? And I couldn't let that slide. Because I knew him I knew him 1 year. And I was he's very close to me. He's my little child pet. Not a child, but he's my real pet. Who actually talks. Makes me laugh, right? So he was I told this other kid, I was hey, don't be messing with Keith, right? So he's why wouldn't I mess with Keith? He's small and stuff like that. And I was don't mess with Keith in his smile or his teeth, right? I'll kick your ass, right? It's all the time I always get in fights with dudes. I always get in fights with dudes. It's a never moment that I get in a fight with a girl, or argue with a girl, right? So it was I was don't you dare mess with Keith. I would knock out your teeth, boy. So he was okay, my bad. And the other kids who was his friend, who was pretending to be his friend, didn't say nothing. And I was Keith, don't make no one bully you or make fun of your teeth. Me and you is almost a same. You have messed up teeth and I got a great teeth, right? So he was I was don't that make you mad or anything like that? He's yeah, it makes me mad, because I can't help that. And I was Keith, I'm gonna help you. Stick up for you and stuff like that. So I went back to this room, right, with the group. And he snitched and say, oh, I was messing with him. And I was no, he was messing with Keith and saying how messed up his teeth was and stuff like that. Somehow I had to apologize, and I'm not the kind of person who apologize. I don't take apologies accepted, or anything like that. I don't give apologies because I don't accept them, That's just me. So this lady was telling me, oh, you gotta say sorry to John, and I was I don't have to say sorry to John because John was messing with Keith. That's the only thing I care about. He was messing with Keith, and I'm not gonna say sorry because he's the one who put this on himself. It's not my fault he messed with Keith. No one messed with Keith when I'm here. So she's like, I understand, and I understand your point of view and how you want to protect Keith, even if he's older than you, you know. Keith is just a small kid, you know. Me and him is like the same size, right? He's just older than me, you know. And he's just a boy, you know, who likes the same gender as him, right? He's a boy. He likes other boys. So me and him, I never was like attached to another gay person, you know, the way I'm attached to Keith, right? Because all the friends who I had who was gay, they was always like I don't know, they had something up their butt. They just didn't like take me as a good friend, you know. I don't know, but Keith was like the only gay person who see me as me, you know, my funniness, my stupidness, and all these other stuff, right? The other gay people who was my friend, who was not really my friend, was making fun of me and stuff like that. Keith was different, you know. So I always wanted a gay friend, you know, always, you know, so I could tell little stories here and there, you know. So Keith, he liked it like muscular dudes, you know, and I was like, he's like, I wanna get pictures of muscular dudes, and I was like, Keith, I got you, you know. I'm gonna get you some pictures and stuff like that and send it your way, you know. So I'm sending him some big dude, up to his waist part, you know. Like dudes, I'm taking like I got like pictures from Google or something like that, and I'm showing Keith like these muscular dudes who have 6-packs and 9-packs and whatever, right? And he's like, oh, I like this one, and I was like, Keith, you are my best friend. I'm gonna try to get you good pictures of these hot, muscular dudes. In my point of view, I didn't like too many muscular dudes. I like a decent dude who have a little bit of muscles and 6-pack. That's it. Keith was like the whole 9 yards. He wanted big and buff, you know. And I was like, Keith, I got you, you know. I'm gonna get you so many good pictures. So I be sending him so many different kind of pictures. He's like, yeah, I like this kind of picture. Keep sending them, you know. And I was like, okay, Keith, I got you, you know. So if you got like a story like this or kind of like a story like this, like comment down below, guys. I really want to know.